Okay. Good evening, everyone. Uh, we present or we share with you some resources related to measures of central tendency, dispersion, correlation, regression, and skewness and kurtosis. So first one, uh, measures of central tendency. So actually, the measures of central tendency is it is an average, is a single significant figure which are sum of the translation of a group of figures. Measures of central tendency convey a general idea of whole group. It means it gives a clear picture of an entire figure. It is generally located at the same center or middle of the distribution. So there are five measures of central tendencies. The first one, arithmetical mean, and second one, median, third one, mode, fourth one, geometric mean, and finally, fifth one, harmonic mean. So let's discuss each one. The first one, arithmetical mean. There are some, before the arithmetical mean we discussed, we have now some characteristics of the measures of central tendency. As first one, the measures of central tendency should be clearly defined, and it is based on some observation of data. We know there are some individual series, discrete series, and continuous series. There are different type of data is there. It's based on the observation, and comparatively, it should be simple to follow and calculate. It's not influenced by any sampling fluctuation, and it is used for further algebraic treatments for advanced mathematical tools you can use, and it should not affected by the extreme items. These are the some characteristics or properties of good average. And the arithmetical mean, it's classified. And actually, the arithmetical mean is as an average. There are three ways to compute the arithmetical mean in individual series, arithmetical mean in continuous distribution, and arithmetical in discrete distribution. The first one is arithmetical mean in individual series. It is sigma x divided by n. It means sum of x divided by n. X means individual items. Sigma x means the total of individual items. N means number of frequency. Come to the discrete and continuous frequency. The arithmetical means calculated sigma fx divided by n. F means frequency. But the discrete series, f and x most probably directly to see, n means total of frequency. But the continuous series, f we can find out because it's a continuous, for example, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, like that. So upper value plus lower value divided by 2, you can get x middle value. Here x is the middle value. So in the continuous series, mean can be calculated sigma fx divided by n. So some of the merit of arithmetical mean is similar to average, and also some demerit we can also discuss. Arithmetical mean affected by the extreme value. Usually mean does not coincide with any observed value. It is actually not suitable for averaging ratio and percentage. And one of the other limitation is it cannot be calculated for quantitative data, which cannot be measured numerically. It may be offered to misleading assays. And in the case of frequency distribution with open end class, the middle value of all classes cannot be obtained. Therefore, in such distribution, mean cannot be calculated accurately. Next, median. Actually, median is the central or middle value when the items are arranged in a ascending or descending order of a median is the value that item which occupied the central position of the magnitude. So before the calculation of median, the values to be arranged in the ascending or descending order. According to the ascending order or descending order, mid value is the median. So median is calculated in individual series. There are three types. Median is calculated based on the series, individual series, discrete series, continuous series, like that. In individual series, median is calculated size of n plus 1 divided by 2 times. Here, n means number of items in the concerned individual series, plus if the concerned figure is there, and 2 means is the average portion. So if suppose there are some kind of item is there, 1, 2, 3, like that. So we have arranged first these ascending or descending order. After that, n is the total number of that representation plus 1 divided by 2. We can get a median. If it's come to the discrete frequency distribution, we have formula is median is equal to space of n plus 1 divided by 2 item, where n is equal to sigma f. That means we have not the number of items, and here indicate total of frequency. So similarly, median to be calculated in the continuous series or continuous distribution, median is equal to L1 plus N by 2 minus CF divided by F into C. This is the method to calculate the continuous series. Here, L1 means lower value of concerned class limit. And first you can identify the median according to L by 2 size. L by 2 means total frequency divided by 2. So you can get a number. We
Yes,
find out
sir.
which.
Slide is not moving.
Actually, we have discussed about the. Oh, so okay, okay. Slide is one. It's 1 minute. Hope you now okay.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So we have median. The median. So median series. Median is equal to 1 plus n by 2 minus CF divided by into C. Means here the lower limit of the class. N by 2 is the part by 2. Corresponding frequency identify the lower limit of the concerned classes. So after that, CF means cumulative frequency of just preceding class. Concerned class after class we can choose as the cumulative frequency, and F is the frequency of the selected n by 2 basis classes, and C is the class input. Let's find out the median. The next is mode. Mode is the most repeated value, is known as mode. In the case, in individual series, the value appears more number of the time is known as mode. If suppose it's the individual series like 2, 2, 3, 4, like that, and a series, his mode is 2, 2, 3, 4, 2. If I'm saying series, 2 is the most repeated item. So mode is the mode similarly we can calculate manually. Sometimes mode cannot be find out because same number to be repeated equally. So that mode is equal to minus only. It's a point out in the individual series. It needs to be in series sigma x divided by m. Median in individual series is of n plus 1 divided by 2. So based on this equation, we can substitute mode is equal to 3 median minus 2 mean. Sorry, more number of items to be repeated, same item, more same manner. And similarly, and discrete series, we can use these same equations and more in the continuous series, use L1 plus F1 minus FC divided F0 minus F2. What is equal to in continuous series L1 plus F1 minus F0 into by 2F1 minus F2. It is model class F0, F2 are respectively of classes just preceding and succeeding class. F1 constant. Next is geometric. So actually the geometric mean is if there is n value in a series, then their geometric mean is became a n was n value. If there are n values in the series, then their geometric mean is became a the nth root of those n values. So actually the geometric mean is the mathematical average. Geometric mean is calculated. It's the of sigma of s divided by n. Geometric mean is calculated and the log of sigma log s divided by n. Discrete continuous series. It's calculated in sigma and the log of sigma f log n divided by n. F frequency is added in individual now divided by n. If discrete and continuous
Excuse me,
series
sir.
is there,
The audio is not clear.
okay. Uh, here some climate problem is there. Heavy rain is there. I think now it's okay.
Ah, yes, sir. Okay, okay.
So here the discrete and continuous series, the equation is take and V log sigma f into log x divided by n. The next is harmonic mean. Actually, the harmonic mean is the harmonic mean is a set of n value is the defined as the reciprocal of the mean of the reciprocal of gross value. It is the reciprocal of the mean of the reciprocal of gross value. And the harmonic mean is mainly used when it is decided to give a greatest weight to a smallest weight. It is then applied for average weight and time. The harmonic mean is calculated. Harmonic mean is equal to n divided by sigma 1 by x. Harmonic mean is calculated. N is the number of items. N is equal to sigma 1 by x. These come under the discrete and continuous series. Harmonic mean is calculated. N divided by sigma f into 1 by x. Here f is the frequency. These are the 5 items to be used for measures of central tendency. The first one, arithmetical mean. Second one, median. Third one, mode. Fourth one, geometric mean. And fifth one, harmonic mean. Next, move to the next area, measures of dispersion, or it is known as measures of variability. Actually, dispersion refers to the variability in the size of item. It focuses on or it speaks about spread or scatter of the value in a series. It's only focus on measures of variability or dispersion speak about the spread or scattered of the value in a series. So measures of dispersion measure variability in a series. Actually, it measures how a series of variable. So it measures the variability in the series, and these measures of dispersion tell us what extent which the values of a series differ between each of other for their average. So measures of dispersions are classified into two. The first one, absolute measures of dispersion. Second one, relative measures of dispersion. In absolute of measures of dispersion, it is dispersion are expressed in the same unit in which data are collected. In absolute measures of dispersion are expressed in the same unit in which data are collected. They measure the variability of a series. Absolute measures of dispersion are five types. First one, range. Second one, quartile deviation. Third one, mean deviation. And fourth one, standard deviation. Similarly, relative measures of dispersion is there. So it means if the relative measures of dispersion is the ratio of measures of dispersion to an appropriate average from the deviation of measure. It mainly five types: coefficient of range, coefficient of quartile deviation, coefficient of mean deviation, coefficient of variance. The first one, range. Actually, range is the simplest possible measures of dispersion. It is the difference between highest and lowest value of a series. So range is equal to in measures of absolute dispersion h minus l. It means highest value minus lowest value. It comes under the relative measures of dispersion. That means coefficient of range h minus l and h plus l. Actually, range show the difference between highest and lowest values in a series. So next one, quartile deviation. Is quartile deviation is known as semi interquartile range. So quartile deviation is defined as of the distance between third and first quartile. It is the of the distance between the third and first quartile. So quartile deviation is QD is equal to Q3 minus Q1 divided by Q3 plus Q1. So actually Q3 means size of n plus 1 divided by fourth item or into third item, and Q1 is equal to size of n plus 1 fourth item. So you can get quartile deviation in absolute manner, in relative. The coefficient of quartile deviation is equal to Q3 minus Q1 divided by Q3 plus Q1. Next we move on, mean deviation. So mean deviation is defined as it is an arithmetical mean deviation of all the value from their average. Here, counting all such deviation in positive manner, it means it will not be considered the negative values. So mean deviation is equal to sigma d dash divided by n. Here d dash is the representation of deviation. You consider the without side. In the coefficient of mean deviation, it is equal to mean deviation divided by average from the mean deviation is computed. That means coefficient mean deviation is equal to mean deviation divided by mean. Each component are the individual series, but its significance of difference in continuous and discrete series. The mean deviation is equal to sigma f into d dash divided by n. Here d is the, we already mentioned, it's a representation of deviation from an average without sign. So next is standard deviation. So standard deviation means we quoted one definition. So standard deviation is the square root of the mean of the square of the deviation of all values of a series from their arithmetical mean. So mean deviation means is the square root of the mean of the square of the deviation of all values of the series from their arithmetical mean. So it is calculated root of sigma x minus x bar square divided by n, and its variance is calculated sigma x square minus n, sigma x square divided by n minus sigma x divided by n whole square, and the coefficient of variation is calculated standard deviation divided by mean into 100. Like standard deviation, once again equation root of sigma x square minus n, root of sigma x square divided by n minus sigma x divided by n whole square. If the discrete and continuous series, it's added by frequency. So these are the four methods in the case of measures of dispersion or measures of variability. Actually, the dispersion or variability is speak about spread or scatter of values in a series. Measures of dispersion measure the variability in the series. There are four types, and the measures of dispersion is classified into absolute and relative. And when this absolute and relative is classified into four, that's a range, quartile deviation, mean deviation, and standard deviation. Similarly, these four items are comes under the relative, the coefficient of quartile deviation, coefficient of range, and coefficient of mean deviation, coefficient of standard deviation. So next area is correlation. So actually, the correlation and regression is the two remaining areas. Correlation is an analysis of association between two or more variables. Correlation is used for finding the relationship or association between two or more variables. Correlation is defined different orders differently. So one definition is the tendency of two or more groups or series of the item to vary together directly or inversely. Actually, the correlation techniques used for to identify the relationship between two variables. There are different kinds of correlations. The first one, positive and negative correlation. Second one, linear and non-linear correlation. Third one, simple, multiple, and partial correlation. Positive and negative correlation means when the value of a two variables move in the same direction, the correlation states the positive correlation. So once again, when the values of a two variables move in the same direction, the correlation is known as positive correlation, and the two variables is go through the inverse relationship, which is known as negative correlation. Next one, linear and non-linear correlation. The correlation may be linear or non-linear when the amount of changing one variable leads to constant ratio of changing other variable is known as linear correlation. A correlation to be said non-linear when the amount of changing one variable is not in the constant ratio to changing the other variable. That means linear variable is if price of a cost of 10%, it means price of supply is the same proportion, same shape. It is known as linear. Non-linear correlation means when the amount of changing one variable is not in constant ratio to changing other variable is known as non-linear correlation. And third one, single, partial and multiple correlation. If there is only two variables, the correlation is known as simple correlation. There are only, we consider the two items or two variables is known as simple correlation. And next one, partial correlation. Then one variable is related to a number of others, correlation is not simple. Then the study of relationship between the variables can depend on partial or multiple correlation. And similarly, multiple correlation, that means they use multiple variables. So the correlation, there are three types: Cartesian correlation method, Spearman correlation method, and concurrent method of correlation. So here, Cartesian correlation method. Actually, this is the most popular one of the method, Cartesian correlation method. So Cartesian correlation method formula is there: n into sigma xy minus sigma x into sigma y divided to root of n into sigma x square minus sigma x whole square into root of n into sigma y square minus sigma y square. Actually, is the most popular correlation method is Cartesian correlation method, and the correlation value is lays between 0 to -1 to +1. 0 means no correlation. -1 it's indicate negative perfect correlation. If 1 is perfect positive correlation, and the value is placed between moderate, the correlation is relationship of value is denoted. Next method is of a correlation is rank correlation. So rank correlation is 1 minus sigma 1 minus 6 sigma d square divided by n into n square minus 1. Actually, the Spearman formula is here. D is the difference between rank and n number of items. And final method, last method is concurrent deviation method. Under this method, the formula, it is a very simple method of measuring correlation. Under this method, the direction of deviation is only taken. So equation is concurrent deviation method, plus or minus root of plus or minus 2c minus n divided by n, where c stands for number of concurrent deviation and n is represent number of pairs compared. So this is the method of correlation. So similarly, it's connected with regression also. So actually the regression means Regression is the estimation or prediction of the future value. So, one definition of regression. Regression analysis is mathematical measures of average relationship between two or more variables in the terms of original unit of a data. And also one of the area is the skewness. Actually, the correlation and regression is over. Next is skewness. Skewness means lack of symmetry. The word skewness literally denoted as symmetry. If a frequency distribution is skewed, there will be more item on one side of the mode than other side. In case of skewed distribution, the mean and medians are pulled away from the mode. So for a skewed distribution, mean, median, and mode are not equal. Further, for a skewed distribution, Q1 and Q3 will not be equalized from the median. So there are positive and negative skewness is that is skewness may be either or positive or negative. The skewness is said to be positive when mean is greater than median and median is greater than mode, and vice versa in the negative skewness. There are some uh, three positive skewness, symmetrical distribution of skewness, and negative skewness. So these are the areas. The first one, measures of center tendency. There are mean, median, mode, harmonic mean, and geometric mean. Next area, measures of dispersion. It to be classified into absolute and relative. And the absolute of measures of dispersion is four type. Similarly, relatives are four type. Its range for tail deviation, mean deviation, and standard deviation is added by coefficient. It is relative measures of distribution and correlation, regression, skewness. These are the area to be covered today's session. Any queries? Also, some questions related to measures of center tendency, measures of dispersion, skewness, and kurtosis. Nearby 70 questions and objective questions are required. I will share it to the RTMs or concerned groups.
Those who have any doubts, you may ask now. Thank you, sir, for giving your valuable time with us.
Okay, thank you. Shall I sign off?
ഹലോ, കേൾക്കാമോ? നമുക്ക് മിസ് ഫ്രീ ആണെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് ഇപ്പോഴേ അടുത്ത സെക്ഷൻ തുടങ്ങായിരുന്നു കേട്ടോ. അക്ഷയ, മിസ്സിനെ ഒന്ന് ബന്ധപ്പെടുവോ?
ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ. മിസ്സിനെ കോണ്ടാക്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നേ. മിസ് ഒരു 10 മിനിറ്റിനുള്ളിൽ എത്തും.
ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ. മാഡം ഇപ്പോഴേ തുടങ്ങുമോ?
നമ്മുടെ നെക്സ്റ്റ് സെക്ഷൻ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത് 7:30-ക്കാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ലേറ്റ് ആവുന്നത്. 7:30-ക്കുള്ളിൽ എന്തായാലും എത്തും. Okay, now let's move on. The next session is handled by Dr. Sujatha, PDF Scholar, Department of Commerce, University of Kerala. It's my pleasure to welcome Sujatha ma'am to talk on the topic Principle and Functions of Management, Corporate Governance and Business Ethics. Welcome, ma'am.
Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This session, we are going to discuss about business management. The concept of management,
Ma'am, the volume
management
is
as a
very low.
discipline, management as a process, management as a group. Then the definitions of management, there are two: traditional definition and modern definition. Then in traditional point of view, the role of management is to rule. And in this view, management treated workers as slaves. Once again, the role of management is to rule in the point of traditional definition. In this view, management treated workers as slaves. Then there are definitions under traditional definitions by Mary Parker Follett. Management is the art of getting things done through others. By Lawrence A. Management is the process of achieving the objectives by getting things done through the efforts of others. These two definitions come under traditional definition. Then modern definition. In the modern point of view, management is defined as a group of the owner and employees. Then by Kuntz O'Donnell, management is coordination of all resources through the process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling in order to achieve objectives. Then by Roger, management is achieving specific objective through the process of planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Then by Henry Fayol, to manage is to focus and plan, to organize, to command, to coordinate, and to control. Then according to W. Taylor, and they do it. These are the then comes modern
Ma'am, the
management
audio is not clear.
principles. Into management principles and W. Taylor's scientific management principles. And first, we are going to principles of management. He wrote title General and Industrial Management. Henry Fayol wrote the book titled General and Industrial Management. Then Henry Fayol is known as the father of modern and the father of
ടീച്ചറെ വോയിസ് ബ്രേക്ക് ആവുന്നേ.
voice break out.
വോയിസ് ഇടയ്ക്കിടയ്ക്ക് ബ്രേക്ക് ആവുന്നുണ്ട് മാം. വോളിയം വളരെ ലോ ആണ്.
പ്രോബ്ലം ഉണ്ട് കേട്ടോ. ഉണ്ടാകാറുണ്ട്. Shall I continue?
യെസ് മാം.
Okay. General and industrial management, he is known as his contributions are principles of management, and he classified management functions in organizing, directing, controlling. The principles of direction, subordination of individual stability of personal initiative, esprit de corps. Then division of labor. And qualification. Worker becomes profession in task, and thus division of labor improves efficiency. According to ഓർഗനൈസേഷനിലെ വേരിയസ് ജോബ്സ് എല്ലാം നമ്മൾ എന്താ ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്ത് കൊടുക്കും. അപ്പൊ എന്താണ് അവർ ഈച്ച് വർക്കറുടെ എബിലിറ്റിയും ക്വാളിഫിക്കേഷൻ ഡിപ്പെൻഡ് upon their വർക്കേഴ്സ് എബിലിറ്റി ആൻഡ് ക്വാളിഫിക്കേഷൻസ് ഡ്യൂ.
ടീച്ചർ പോയോ?
നെറ്റ് ഇഷ്യൂ കാരണം ലെഫ്റ്റ് ആയതായിരിക്കും. റീജോയിൻ ചെയ്യും.
ഇനി ടീച്ചർ വരുവോ? വിളിച്ചോ?
ഒന്ന് വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം, മാമിനെ കോണ്ടാക്ട് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുക.
So കേൾക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ടോ? Audible ആണോ? Audible ആണോ?
Yes.
മോഡേൺ മാനേജ്മെന്റ് പ്രിൻസിപ്പിൾസ് കേൾക്കാൻ പറ്റും. ഞാൻ ലെഫ്റ്റ് കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്താൽ മതിയോ?
Yes, ma'am.
എന്താണ്?
Continue ചെയ്തോളൂ.
ആ സ്ക്രീൻ ഷെയർ ചെയ്തില്ല. സ്ക്രീൻ
സ്ക്രീൻ ഷെയർ ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ല.
സ്ക്രീൻ കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ടോ?
Yes, ma'am.
correct.
Then techniques of scientific management, scientific task setting, work study, planning the task, standardization, scientific selection and training, differential piece system, mental revolution, functional formatship. Scientific task testing meaning determining the fair pace of work an average must do in a day is called as scientific determining the fair piece of work which an average worker must do in a day is called a scientific task setting. Taylor calls it fair day's work. The first piece of scientific management, scientific task setting, determining the fair piece of work which an average worker must do in a day is called a scientific task setting. Taylor calls it fair day's work. Deciding what is piece of work must be determined by using appropriate criteria. Then work study, objectively and critically assessing the different jobs of an organization is the work study. Then planning the task. Then this is the process of setting up in an advance a standard for the raw materials, the machinery, the work is, production methods, the working conditions, the efficiency of the standardization. This is the process of setting up in advance a standard for the raw materials, the products, the machinery, the work is, the production methods, the working conditions, etc. with a view to improving the efficiency of the work. Then scientific selection and training. Scientific management should adopt a scientific recruitment program to ensure that the most suitable people are selected for each job. That means it's the determination of the jobs for which workers are needed, their qualification, experience, and efficiency needed for the selected candidates. These are scientific selection and training. Then differential 5-stage plan, giving wages to each worker on the basis of the products to be producers is called a difference wage system. In this system, the quantity of work a standard worker should do is decided in advance. Then higher wages are given to those who produce above the stipulated standard and lower wages to those who fall short of the standard. Workers feel that the management exploit them. Then on the other hand, management feel that the workers are not sincere. So to avoid this, Taylor suggested the manual evolution. Then techniques of scientific elastic functional foremanship. In this system, each worker is controlled by several specialist foremen. For example, the speed of the work is supervised with boss. Then mat is connected with the repair, and controlled by several specialist foremen. Then comparison between Henry Fayol's ideas, general management and scientific management. As we know, Henry Fayol is known as the father of general management, and W. Taylor is known as the father of management. General management all areas of management. Then Taylor's principle are centered around the factories. Then Fayol focuses on higher level management. Taylor focuses on lower level management. Then a rule of thumb method is followed to solve the problems in general management principles. Then scientific methods are used to solve problems. Fayol has emphasized the human aspect. Then Taylor has emphasized higher production, not the human aspect. Fayol has formulated his principles from personal experience. Taylor principles are formulated from observation and experience. Fayol's principles are guidelines for action. Then Taylor's principles are prescribed rules for action. These are the difference between Henry Fayol's and Taylor's principles. General management. Henry Fayol's the principles are applicable to all areas of management. The principles are centered around factory. Fayol focuses on level management. Taylor focuses on lower level management. Rule of thumb method is followed to solve problems. Then scientific methods are used to solve problems in Taylor's ideas. Then Fayol has formulated his principles from personal experience and experiments. Then next, I want to discuss functions of management. The duties performed by managers to achieve the organization is called the functions of management. The duties performed by managers to achieve the organization objectives are called functions of management. And there are organizing, staffing, controlling, and directing. Planning is thinking before doing. It is deciding in advance what to do, when to do, how to do, and who is to do it. According to Coombs or Donald, planning is deciding in advance what to do, how to do, and who to do it. Characteristics of planning is goal-oriented and mental process, forward a continuous process. Then step planning. First step planning is establishing objectives. Objective is the first step in planning. The objective should be clear and specific. Plans are, as we know, the plans are prepared to achieve certain organized objectives. Therefore, setting objective is the first step in planning. The objective should be clear and specific. Then next step is to planning premises. Managers plan for the future on the basis of certain assumptions. And such assumptions are called planning premises. Planning premises can be classified into internal premises and external premises. Those premises which are under the control of the organization are internal premises. Example, machinery, quality of employees. Premises beyond the control of the organization are external premises. The example, political changes, technological changes, etc. And third step is to identify alternatives. Once objectives are set and assumptions are made, the next step is to identify all the possible courses of action. For example, then available alternatives are reduce the price of that product, increase advertisement, appointment a salesman for house-to-house sale. These are come under the alternatives. Once the objectives are, the assumptions are made, next step is to identify all the possible course of action. And fourth step is to evaluating alternatives. After finding useful alternatives, the next step is evaluating them. Here the manager starts evaluating each and every alternative and notes down the positive and negative aspect of every alternative. Selecting the best alternative, and he selected alternative should be flexible. Then implementation of the plan. Implementation is the stage at which the best selected alternative is put into action. The follow-up action. Evaluate the effectiveness of the implemented plan is called follow-up action. This follow-up action is to find out the drawbacks and make necessary action. The steps first the objectives set cheyyanam എന്നിട്ട് assumption ചെയ്യണം. Then അതാണ് അതിന് ശേഷമാണ് പിന്നെ alternatives എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടോ, നമുക്കൊരു alternatives achieve ചെയ്യാൻ. എക്സാമ്പിൾ പറഞ്ഞത് നമുക്കൊരു പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് ഇൻക്രീസ് ചെയ്യണം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പ്രൊഡക്റ്റിന്റെ സെയിൽസ് ഇൻക്രീസ് ചെയ്യണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം? ഒന്നുകിൽ പ്രൈസ് കുറയും പർട്ടിക്കുലർ പ്രൊഡക്റ്റിന്റെ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അതിന് അഡ്വർടൈസ് ഇൻക്രീസ് ചെയ്യണം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കൂടുതൽ സെയിൽസ്മാൻമാരെ കുറെ ഓൾട്ടർനേറ്റീവ്. ഇതിൽ ഏത് കൂടെ നമുക്ക് ബെസ്റ്റ് ആക്കാൻ സാധിക്കും എന്നുള്ളത് നമ്മളൊരു ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്ത് ഈ നെക്സ്റ്റ് സ്റ്റെപ്പിൽ ഇവാലുവേറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം. ഓൾട്ടർനേറ്റീവ് സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യണം. അത് നമ്മൾ ആ ക്ലാസ് സെലക്ട് ചെയ്ത നമ്മൾ പ്ലാനിൽ ഇംപ്ലിമെന്റ് ചെയ്യും. ഇത് കറക്റ്റ് ആണോ, ആക്ഷൻ കറക്റ്റ് ആണോ എന്നുള്ളത് ഫോളോ അപ്പ്. ഒരു ഓൾട്ടർനേറ്റീവ് ഇത് മാറ്റിയെടുക്കണം എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ നമ്മൾ എന്താണ് ഫോളോ അപ്പ് ആക്ഷനിൽ നോക്കും. ഇതാണ് ഫംഗ്ഷൻ. Preparing a structural framework for the activities to execute plans. Simply organizing means preparing. Simply means bringing together various factors of production like men, materials, machines, and methods, and establishing relationship among them for the attainment of the organizational objectives. എല്ലാത്തിനും നമ്മൾ ബ്രിങ് ടുഗദർ ചെയ്ത് കൊള്ളാം. എല്ലാം നമുക്ക് അതിന്റെ സോഴ്സസ് എല്ലാം ഓഡിബിൾ ആണോ? ഓഡിബിൾ ആണോ? ഓക്കെ. Organizing simply means bringing together the various factors of production like men, materials, machines, and establishing relationship among them for attainment of organization objectives. Simply, organizing is a process of making a structure for doing a job. Then steps in organizing. First, division of work. The entire work of an organization is divided into different jobs, and different posts are created for doing different jobs. First, organizing is the entire work of an organization is divided into different, and different posts are created for doing different jobs. Then grouping of similar jobs and creation of departments. The various job posts created at the first stage are classified into specified areas like production, finance, marketing, etc. Based on this classification, all related jobs are clubbed together to create departments. For example, all finance activities are under the finance department. So the grouping of similar jobs and creation of departments and the various job posts created at the first stage are classified into specified areas like production, finance, marketing, etc. Then third is to assignment of duties. After dividing the organization into specialized departments, each individual working in different department is assigned a duty matching to his skill and qualification, and he will be given the necessary authority to discharge his duties. Then establishing authority responsibility relationship. The assignment of authority results in creation of superior subordinate relationship, and the questions of who reports to is clarified. It is important to clearly define the authority responsibility relationship for the smooth functioning of the organization. The last, coordination of activities. Coordination of the activities of different individual and partners to achieve the goal of the organization is the coordination, motivation and team spirit among the members. So all these are steps involved in organizing, division of work, grouping of similar jobs and creation of departments, assignment of duties, establishing authority responsibility relationship, then coordination of activities. And structure of the organization, it refers to authority responsibility relation between different positions in the organization in an orderly manner. Organization structure, functional structure and divisional structure. Functional structure, F.W. Taylor introduced the idea of functional structure, dividing the jobs of an organization into various departments on the basis of speciality of their function is known as functional structure. Form of functional structure like manager, production manager, finance manager. എന്ത് ഫംഗ്ഷൻ ആണ് അവർ പെർഫോം ചെയ്യുന്നത് അതനുസരിച്ച് നമ്മൾ ഓർഗൻ സ്ട്രക്ചർ മാറ്റാനാണ് ഫങ്ഷണൽ സ്ട്രക്ചർ. Then divisional structure is usually followed by big companies which manufacture more than one product or having operation in wide geographical areas. Divisional structure is usually followed by companies which manufacture more than one product or have operations in wide geographical area. Divisional structure can be classified into product wise or product wise or region wise. Divisionalization, but huge organization producing divide their activities into different groups on the basis of the products. Such a divisional structure is called a structure. It's a gold, textiles, different products are they are producing. When producing diverse products, divide their activities into Such divisional structure is called a productive divisional structure. Then territorial divisionalization. A huge company is functioning in different territories. When huge companies spread over different regions, they divide their operations called territorial division.
ഓഡിബിൾ അല്ല.
Hello, ma'am. ലെഫ്റ്റ് ആയിക്കോളൂട്ടോ മാം.
ഞങ്ങൾ ലെഫ്റ്റ് ആവാനാണോ?
മിസ് കോണ്ടാക്ട് ചെയ്തായിരുന്നോ?
അറിയില്ല. എന്തായാലും അക്ഷയൊന്ന് വിളിച്ച് ചോദിക്ക് നിക്കണോന്ന്.
മാം മൈക്ക് ഓണല്ല കേട്ടോ. ഹലോ മാം.
കേൾക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ടോ?
ആ കേക്കാം.
കേൾക്കാമോ? കേൾക്കാണ്ടോ?
ആ ഓഡിബിൾ ആണ്.
നമ്മൾ അതാണ് ഫോർമലും ഇൻഫോർമൽ ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻ നമ്മൾ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നത്.
മിസ് സ്ക്രീൻ ഒന്ന് ഷെയർ ചെയ്യണേ.
ഹലോ.
കേൾക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ടോ?
ആ ഇപ്പൊ കേക്കാം മാം.
ഒരു മിനിറ്റ്. Slide, delegation of authority. The process by which the manager says some of his work originally his subordinate is the authority. Then e.g. jobs from the authority to do the job is called authority. Authority of the manager to command his subordinates, responsibilities, obligations to the right to do orders to employees to do the assigned work. Then on responsibility from the assigned duty. And accountability is answerability for the performance. Then MC Pallam defines accountability is the operation subordinate to report his superior on what he has done. Between delegation and realization. Delegation is to the transfer of authority and responsibility from a superior to his subordinate, and decentralization is a systematic delegation from top to lower levels. The delegation is idealistic, decentralization totalistic, then control kept by the supervisor and delegation kept by the supervisor. Decentralization, superior has minimum control over the subordinates. Then next, number of people involved in decentralization, it is spread to all levels of the organization. Then delegation compulsory, not compulsory. The effectiveness, delegation can be effective in all organizations, and decentralization effective in big. And reduces workload of managers. Delegation of authority purpose reduces workload of managers. The decentralization purpose is to give a greater freedom to the lower levels. Responsibility, full responsibility and accountability are not transferred in delegation.
Then decentralization, full responsibility and accountability are transferred. Then relationship, delegation creates a superior subordinate relationship. Decentralization creates autonomous use. Then necessity, delegation can take place without decentralization. Then decentralization is impossible with delegation. Other difference between delegation and decentralization. Then the functions, the process of selecting people for execution and appointing them in a right place. Then next, directing the task of giving instructions and supervising the work of employees, giving leadership to their task, communicating with their work and inspiring them. Then elements of direction, leadership, motivation, and communication. Supervision refers to overseeing the work that subordinates by their superiors. In motivation, it can be defined as stimulating, inspiring, and inducing the employees to perform their best capacity. Supervision refers to overseeing the work of the subordinates by their superiors, stimulating, inspiring, and inducing to perform to the leadership. It is influencing subjects. And Maslow's needs theory. The American psychologist Abraham Maslow developed a theory classifying the human needs in order to their classifying the human the order of their importance. It is known as Maslow's need hierarchy theory. On the basis of this theory, human needs can be classified into 5: psychological needs, skill needs, self-esteem, and self-actualization. Needs, safety needs, social needs, self-esteem needs, and self-actualization needs. Physiological needs. Safety.
ഓഡിബിൾ അല്ല.
What happened?
ഇപ്പൊ കേൾക്കാം മിസ്.
American psychologist Abraham Maslow developed a theory classifying the human needs in the order of their importance. This is known as Maslow's theory. On the basis of this theory, human needs can be classified into 5: physiological needs, safety needs, social needs, and self-actualization. Physiological needs, these are the basic needs essential for survival of the human beings. Then physiological needs are fulfilled. The next are the safety of life, which includes safety of three types of security: physical security, economic security, social security. Security from air disease. Then social needs. and therefore the recognition is latent in all human beings. Love, friendship, affection, sense of belonging, etc. are the social needs. Self-esteem needs. When the above three needs are satisfied, then people start demanding respect from others. This need is more higher level employees. It includes status, etc., dignity, etc. Then self-actualization needs. This need refers to reaching to aim of life. Once the employees become what he wants to become, it means satisfaction of his actualization needs. These are the Maslow's need hierarchy. Psychological needs, food, clothing, shelter. Then safety needs, physical, economic, social security. Social needs, love, friendship, self-esteem, maintains a status in the society, membership in clubs. Then self-actualization needs, fulfillment of personal ambition. The last function is it involves measuring the actual, comparing the actions with standards, and taking corrective actions. Controlling means ensuring that activities in an organization are performed as per the plans and taking corrective action wherever necessary. In other words, controlling is the process of measuring the actual performance of subordinates and necessary actions organization goals. Then steps in controlling process. Establishment stages controlling process, establishment of targets, measuring performance, comparison of standard, then corrective measures. Establish standards are fixed according to the organization. Standard is criteria against which results be compared. Standards flexible, it must be in tune with the of the organization. Performance aims predetermined in this state the work treated different individuals, groups, and units shared with the assessment of output both quantitatively and qualitatively. When comparing performance with standards, the stage in control is comparing the actual with pre-set standards. This will help the different the more than the prescribed, it should be reported to management. This is known as managed exception. If the taking corrective action. Taking corrective action is a factor in controlling process, then ignoring and taking corrective action. Serious deviation done in this stage. This will involve modification of plant standards, transferring of responsibility of dated machines, etc. These are the functions of management. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving valuable time for us.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So, കേൾക്കാൻ പറ്റാത്ത ഇടയ്ക്ക് ഓഡിബിൾ ഡിസ്റ്റർബ് ആയി.
അത് കുഴപ്പമില്ല മാം. നേരത്തെ വന്ന സാറിനും റേഞ്ച് ഇഷ്യൂസ് ഉണ്ട്, എല്ലാവർക്കും ഉണ്ട് റേഞ്ച് ഇഷ്യൂസ്. ഇവിടെ മഴ കുറച്ച് ഇതായിട്ട് അതുകൊണ്ടായിരിക്കും. ഓക്കെ മാം, താങ്ക് യു.
Thank you.
ലെഫ്റ്റ് ആയിരിക്കും.